Hi, I'm Nick. Thanks for checking out True Mythos and True Mythos Counseling. I've made this video to just explain a little bit more of the story behind the name True Mythos Counseling. Maybe a little odd, and some people wonder what it's about. Mythos is a fancy way of saying story or your own set of held beliefs, your assumed beliefs, the kind of inherent baked in beliefs about something. And it's a callback to the word myth, if you hear that word in there. So in ancient cultures, they all had a set of stories they would share. Most famously known as probably Greek myths, Roman myths, Norse mythology. And these would be stories that would be passed down and be shared often and regularly. And they did more than just entertain. Myths and stories in a culture were a way that they understood their world, and they taught people about morals and ethics and belief systems and worldviews. Like, this is the way we believe the world works, and we're going to tell you a story. The greatest storyteller, Jesus, actually used parables as the way to communicate his truths. The kingdom of heaven is like. So stories are all over this universe, wherever you look. I've always been a lover of myth. So personally, I was the nerdy, wonderfully excited and curious little boy that was buried in the Greek mythology section as early as first or second grade, and loved hearing about these stories of adventure and strength and monsters and gods doing all these things. And then I would grow into somewhere, I think around third or fourth grade, discovering Tolkien and The Hobbit. And I devoured it, and I loved the adventure in there. And that would lead me into my first of probably many rereadings of The Lord of the Rings through 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade and middle school. And those are really, really precious and treasured times for me. So I've always been a lover of myth. Two other lovers of myth are one of the authors of those books, J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis. And that's another piece of where I get the name True Mythos from, is my nod to two authors that I really love and have enjoyed for years. Really, really interesting story where the word True Mythos shows up between those two is C.S. Lewis and Tolkien were friends. And C.S. Lewis at the time was actually an atheist, maybe agnostic. And his friendship with J.R.R., as well as a few other their friends, revolved around their love of mythology. So they were fellow nerds, college-aged, and loved researching Norse mythology and as well as other cultures' mythologies. And C.S. Lewis's rebuttal at the point would be, yeah, Christianity is just one story, one set of held beliefs, stories of God coming into the world, and many, many other myths have been told. Norse mythology has a version of that, Greek mythology, etc., etc. And they'd done their homework, and they're right. This story of God coming into the world is an exclusive story, that the only people who've said that had happened is Christianity. But where Tolkien pushed back from Tolkien's Christian faith was, yeah, Lewis, I don't know if he called him Lewis, who knows what he called him, probably Clive. But he said, what we're claiming is that Jesus is the one true myth. We're saying, yes, that this story has been told in many different cultures in many different ways. And the claim of Christianity is that it really happened. God really came into the world. And it took him a while, but eventually, I'd say in 2023 language, it blew Lewis's mind eventually. And he came to realize and say, oh my goodness, Christ is the one true myth. We're saying it actually happened. God came into the world and wanted to change our story. I think that's beautiful and a really fun story between friends. So that's the other heart behind True Mythos. But back to this idea of your mythos, your story. So if a mythos is a set of held beliefs, what do you believe and why do you believe it? What has been told to you about your world? Is your life a tragedy or a comedy? Is it a success? Is it a failure? Where do you find yourself in life? These are important questions to discover, and often when we find ourselves stuck in life, depression, anxiety, addiction, patterns in our marriage and our relationships that feel like we can't overcome, we may not even be aware that we are simply acting out in the way that the story we think is written. Harold Goddard said this: the destiny of the world is determined less by the battles that are lost and won than by the stories it loves and believes in. So the part of the heart of True Mythos and True Mythos counseling is, what do you believe about yourself? And how did you come to believe that? And what if what you believe about yourself is incredibly, profoundly important to what comes next for you. So at True Mythos Counseling, we desire to be able to engage you and help you understand your story with kindness and curiosity, and to be able to help you move forward in your story by challenging maybe some beliefs that may not be true, and help find some of the true mythos about who you are. So that's a little bit about me and the fun and nerdy background behind True Mythos. Thanks for watching.